Hello everyone and welcome to another fabulous learning experience with Saoirse, who is fabulous. Today we're going to be learning about the properties of equality and how to use them in equations. So that is page 72 in your books, lesson 2.4. So hopefully I'll be able to help you do what you need to do in math. So let's get started. Today's key ideas are the addition property of equality, which says two equations are equivalent equations, meaning they equal each other if they have the same solutions. Adding the same number to each side of an equation produces an equivalent equation. So basically, if A equals B, then A plus C equals B plus C. So we're going to fill in. We're going to say that A is going to be 5. So that means since A equals B, that means 5 is also going to be B, okay? So then A, which is 5, plus C, which will make 4, and B, which is 5, plus C, which is 4. So that's 9 equals 9. Yes, so that means that they're an equivalent equation, okay? Same for subtraction. Subtracting the same number from each side of an equation produces an equivalent equation. So that means that we'll just fill it in again. A being 5, B being 5, A, 4, 5, 4. So that means 5 minus 4 equals 1, 5 minus 4 is 1. So that's another equivalent equation. So this is a basic equation that you'll probably see a lot. And they're really easy to solve. You just have to use the inverse operation, which basically means doing the opposite. So the first thing we're going to look at is right here. So we want to get the variable, which is x, by itself. So we have to do the inverse operations on this minus 5. So the opposite. So the opposite of subtracting 5 would be adding 5. So we'll add 5, but whatever you do to one side, you have to do it on the other side. So we add 5 over here. Okay? So now it becomes x equals, because this is cancel out, and then we have 5 minus 1, which is 4. Okay? So this is x equals 4. Well, now let's go back and check and plug in our 4 for x. So if we have 4 minus 5 is negative 1, is that correct? Yep, so that means that this all checks out. So check. Let's have you try one on your own. So go ahead and pause the video, and when you have your answer, unpause it. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at our plus 6, because that's what we're going to be working with. We want to get the variable alone, so we have to do the inverse operations on this plus 6. So that means that we will subtract 6, because that's the opposite. Subtract 6, and now bring down our variable. B equals negative, because they're both negatives, 11. Okay? So now let's go back and check. So if we have negative 11 plus 6 equals negative 5, is that right? Yep, that's right. So let's just check. Alright, so let's try one with a little bit of fraction kind of in it. First thing we want to look at is our fraction, and we want to get our variable alone, so that means we have to do the inverse operation, which would mean that we would be z minus 3 over 2 equals 1/2 minus 3 over 2. Because now this is canceled, so z now equals negative 1. So if we plug it back in, negative 1 plus 3 over 2 equals 1/2. Does that check out? Yep, so this is checked. Alright, let's try one on your own. So go ahead and pause the video, and when you have your answer, unpause it. Alright, so first thing we look at is what we're going to be working with. And we want to get alone, so we have to do the opposite, which would be adding 4 over 5. So now we would have to add a 4 over 5 over here. Okay? So the answer would be y equals 2 over 5. Okay? So let's check. 2 over 5 minus 4 over 5 equals negative 2 over 5. Does that check? Yep. Alright, let's try another one on your own. So pause the video, and when you have your answer, unpause it. Okay, we look at what we're going to be working with, which is negative 5. Okay, we have to do the opposite, so that'd be adding, because you have to do it on the other side. So now it becomes p equals 3. So now let's go back and check. 3 minus 5 equals negative 2. Is that right? Yep, so this checks. Let's try this one on your own. So pause the video, get your answer, and then unpause when you're ready. So let's look at what we're going to be working with. 13.2. So we do the opposite, which would be negative 13.2, negative 13.2. W equals negative 2.8. Because 10.4 minus 13.2 is negative 2.8. Okay, so let's go back and check. Negative 2.8 plus 13.2 equals 10.4. Does it check? Yep. So let's try this one on your own as well. And when you have your answer, pause. Let's look at what we're going to be working with, which is negative 5 over 6. So we add 5 over 6, add 5 over 6. X equals 2, well, actually 4 over 6, which is equal to 2/3, okay? So then you put 2/3 minus 5 over 6 equals negative 1 over 6. Is that right? Yep, checks. Alright, well that's brought us to the end of the video. I hope that I was able to help you do what you need to do. This has been another fabulous learning experience with Saoirse, who is fabulous. You guys are all fabulous. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a fabulous day.